Ryze mid has one of the worst win rates I could find. This champion is going to send me straight down to bronze. The idea of the challenge is simple. My Twitch community votes for a champ and role, I take the most voted combination, and then I play 100 ranked games on it. Every game, every practice session, every guide I watch, and even every coaching I get, everything is streamed. The goal is to find out what actually takes for someone like me. I didn't use my fucking actualizer, oh my god. To fully learn the champion and role combination. For the first challenge, I chose Ryze mid. And honestly, I could not have chosen a harder first champion. I started in gold 1 with 76 LPs, and honestly I expected this to be a disaster. But somewhere, I started to realize something. Ryze was not weak in the way I thought he was. I was just playing him wrong. Before jumping into ranked, I did what any responsible player would do. I opened a 3-minute guide, watched just enough to convince myself I had a basic idea, and then I went into practice 2 to press some buttons. At first, I was just trying to understand what the champion even wanted from me. I don't understand the skill passive. Different combos, his skill passive, his rune charts, and even something as simple as which ability to start was already making me question whether I understood the guide. Why would I start W? But after a few minutes in practice 2, OEW, and then oh my god, I had reached the dangerous level of confidence where you know just enough to jump into ranked and be completely wrong about everything. And then the games started. Very quickly, Ryze felt just like the champ I expected. Man, Ryze is kinda boring as fuck. It's just farming. I felt like I was just moving around the map, pushing waves and waiting for the game to actually end. When I tried to fight, I felt he had no damage. What a damage I dealt on Kata, jeez. When I tried to focus on farming, I missed a lot of minions and most cannons. I wish I had a million for every cannon you missed, respectively. The first games felt like I was playing a farming simulator. Right, so let's focus on farming, just hit and spend mana when we... Let's focus on farming and then I lose the first minion. I just felt useless. Oh man, I can't believe I'm gonna play the next 98 games on Ryze. He feels so fucking useless. And by game 7, I was asking chat, please guys, for the next vote, please give me a champ that I can 1v9. And after 10 games, the result was exactly as bad as it sounds. 10 games played, 0 wins. So after the first few games, I was desperate for more help and info about Ryze. So I went looking for a deeper guide and I found a great one from Mysterious. That guide gave me my first real objective. The 5th wave recall. Wave 5 is this? The idea was simple. Farm properly, crush the wave, recall with around 700 gold, buy tier and boots, and then come back to lane with a much better setup. It was simple in theory. I kept missing minions, missing cannons. I think I lost so many minions that I didn't have the 700 gold. Taking bad trades and sometimes even dying while trying to force the plan. Oh, why didn't I flash before? At one point, I looked at my gold and I realized I had missed almost 300 gold just from bad last hitting. It's incredible. So like 5 waves, I should have 700 gold. So I did 6 waves, including the second cannon, and I had 800. So like I basically missed like nearly 300 gold just like missing minions. So the first real challenge was, can I actually farm well enough to make the guide work? I'm missing every fucking single CS, man. The more I tried to copy the guide, the more obvious the problem became. I was not consistently failing because the plan was bad. I was failing because my fundamentals were not good enough to execute the plan. So before playing ranked, I would go into practice 2 and try to reach 700 gold by the 5th wave. At first it was easy without any pressure from enemy pokes, so I made it a bit more realistic. Yeah, so basically the rules is I can only auto-attack minions. I can use my skills on the Lissandra, but I can't use any skill on the minions. And we need to have at least 700 gold by the end of the 5th wave. If we do that, then we can like get out and jump into a game. If I failed to have 700 gold on the 5th wave, I had to restart. The embarrassing part is that even the warm-up drill was beating me up. But this was also the first time the challenge started feeling like a real training. I was not just playing 100 games and hoping to improve. I was finding a weakness, creating a drill, and forcing myself to fix it. But something still felt wrong. Ryze still felt like he dealt no damage in fights. I could see that the champion had potential, but I was not consistently reaching it. This was the point my coach jumped in.
I've been kind of like peeking into your stream sometimes when you play Ryze, and I think one thing we need to heavily work on is understanding that Ryze is a playmaker.
The session started with some general ideas. How Ryze wants to play, how his ult can be used, and how important timing is for recalls and roams. But once we reviewed the game, one problem kept appearing again.
Wait for your classic combo Q, E, Q, W, Q.
And again.
And the combo here, because you do start with E, it would be with Q. You start with Q. Q, E, Q, W, Q.
Not once.
You get your Q back up, your W, and then you get another Q.
Not twice.
It'd be Q, E, Q, right? This goes a little bit different.
Over.
Yeah, so here, notice how you start with E, and then you start, and then you W now. Right.
And over.
Same thing here, right? QEQ, you get the point.
Sometimes I was not waiting for the Q cooldown.
But if you wait for your Q back up, you would Q, right? Then you would E, then you would Q again, right? Then you would W, and then that would give you another Q here, right? QEQ.
It became almost funny because the entire session had basically turned into one message. Stop messing up the combo. I think the main theme is QEWQ. So after the coaching session, I needed to know how much damage I was actually losing. So I went back into practice 2 and I tested the combo I had been using against the combo I was supposed to use. The correct combo was doing almost 700 more damage. Then I tested it again with 3 items and the difference was huge. EWQ, I wait, EQ, 2184. Now here, Q, E, Q, W, Q, wait for E, boom, boom. That's 1200 damage difference. Oh, that's like mind-blowing. For the first 40 games, I kept saying that Ryze had no damage. But the truth was that every time I used the wrong combo, I was deleting my own damage before the fight even started. So Ryze does have damage, I was just not using it. Ooh, the right combo. But knowing the correct combo and actually using it are two very different things. I knew exactly what I was supposed to do. The problem was muscle memory. To get like, oh, you see, I did the wrong combo again. For 40 games, I had been training myself to press the wrong buttons in the wrong order. Like just right now, I went to combo the crab and I did the wrong combo again. Like right now, I'm literally fresh and explaining what I learned, and then I go combo the crab and I do the wrong one. The next few games were basically me fighting against my own hands. And I did the wrong combo again. Sometimes I would use the correct combo and immediately notice it. Ooh, I did the right combo. Sometimes I would get the kill but still realize I had done the wrong combo. And I did the wrong combo again. Sometimes I would force the right combo at the completely wrong time and die anyways. Oh. So the coaching session did not instantly fix Ryze for me. It just gave me the right problem to focus on. And weirdly, that made the challenge feel much better. Because now, when something went wrong, I was not just saying Ryze has no damage. I could actually see what I needed to improve. Oh, I played that fight so badly because I mistake all my combos. Again, I did the wrong combo. And then there was the Malzahar game. Jesus. I died there! This game was so weird, because at first I actually thought I was doing everything right. I roamed and contested Drake. I got an early kill bot. I got 2 kills stopped. And at one point I was 4-1. But while I was moving around the map, Malzahar was doing something much simpler. He stayed mid, he pushed waves, and then every time I came back to play the game, he pressed R. This guy is just gonna flash ult me. Oh, Oh man. That was the part that broke me. I felt like I was making good plays, I was helping my team, and I was trying to use Ryze's map impact. I think my roams were good. Like I went bot, I got a kill. I went Drake, I saved the Drake, flashed on Z. Top, I got 2 kills. But like Malzahar just stayed mid, he didn't leave. And now he's 2 levels ahead and 50 CS. Look at Malzahar, he doesn't leave mid. And then the ults started. Flash ult. Bush ult. Another ult. How he has ult again? Another death. And slows and silence. By the end of the game, I was completely tilted. This guy's gonna ult me. He doesn't need to ult me. He's just doing so much damage, doesn't need to ult. But underneath the tilt, there was a real question. Like I wonder where was like my mistake. Was Malzahar the problem, or was I misunderstanding when Ryze is actually allowed to leave the lane? But I don't think so, because I went bot, I got a kill, I went top, I got 2 kills. I got myself fed, I got myself ahead. How like what's the counterplay for that? Such bullshit, champ. After the coaching session, the Prax 2 comparison, and a lot of games fighting my own muscle memory, I played that fight so badly because I missed all my combos. Something slowly started to change. Ryze began to feel less like a useless farm simulator and more like a champ with actual threat. Respect. I was still making mistakes. Oh no! My mana! My mana! Oh my god, I can't believe the last kill! But now the correct combo was showing up in real games. Nice combo, look at that, so impressive. I was winning level 2 trades. I was punishing people who disrespected the damage. Look at that, you see that? You see? Respect my damage, Vlad. I was starting to understand why Ryze is so strong into short-range champions. So good when you get the combo right. And the funniest part is that I eventually started having fun. Yeah, that was probably the biggest surprise of the whole challenge. Ooh. Okay, I had a little bit of fun. At the start, I could not believe I had to play 100 games of Ryze. But in the later games, I was saying things like, respect my damage, or respect my combo. Yeah, that's when my opinion really started to change. Ryze was not missing damage. I was missing the execution needed to unlock it. Let's go! And then the game number 9 happened. At this point, I had already gone through the early losses, the CS problems, the 5th wave recall obsession, the drills, the coaching session, the combo breakthrough, and the painful process of rebuilding my muscle memory. So when this game started going well, look at that! Did you see that? It felt different. Nice! It was not just one random good game. 90 games of Ryze paying off, guys. It felt like the previous 89 games were finally showing up on the screen. I was getting kills, was moving with more confidence, snowballing in such a way that even the root combo was enough. And for once, Ryze did not feel like a champion I was forcing myself to play. Oh, he flashed my last kill, did you guys see that? He felt like a champion I had actually learned. By the end of the game, I was 14-2, and for the first time in the challenge, I could honestly say all those games are paying off. After 100 games, the final result was honestly not what I expected. I started the challenge in Gold 1, and after finishing game 100, I ended in Gold 2 at 25 LPs. So yes, I did lose LP overall, but considering I genuinely expected Ryze to destroy my rank and maybe send me towards bronze, the result was much less disastrous than I thought that it would be. Nice, nice. The win rate tells the story even better. After 20 games, my win rate was only 15%. Our win rate at 25 games, it was incredibly low on 12%. That's not like bad start territory. That is like horrible idea territory. But by game 100, the win rate had climbed to 46%. Still negative, still not amazing, but from 15 to 46, on a champion that I started by calling useless. I feel like so useless with Ryze is a massive change. And that's probably the most honest result of the challenge. I did not become a Ryze god, but I also did not prove that Ryze was impossible to carry with. I proved that I had a lot to learn.
Oh my god, the CC!
So, is Ryze mid actually bad? After 100 games, I do not think the answer is that simple.
Ryze is not as bad as like the numbers show. It requires a lot of coordination as well. Like, I think to reach the potential of the champ, you need to play like in a coordinated environment.
Ryze is difficult for a lot of very real reasons. His range is short, his combos are easy to mess up, and he takes time before he actually started feeling powerful.
Okay.
If you fall behind early, the game can feel miserable. And because some of his biggest strengths involve map movement, wave control, side lane pressure, he does not always feel like the easiest solo kill champion. But I also cannot call him weak. Honestly, after 100 games, I think Ryze is probably great in coordinated 5v5 environments. If a team understands how to play around his wave control, his side lane pressure, and his late game damage, I can completely see why the champion has so much potential and is so often picked in pro environment. The problem is that his carry damage does not feel as consistent or easy to access as some of the scale champions. A champion like Kayle, for example, also scales incredibly well, but when Kayle reaches late game, a lot of her damage comes from auto attacks and point click pressure. If she is in range and protected, her damage is much easier to apply. Ryze is different. Ryze can have insane damage, but to actually carry fights, you need to position well, execute the comp correctly, and most importantly, hit your kills. If you miss kills, or if you are forced to play from awkward angles, that late game damage can disappear very quickly. I think that is the part why his win rate looks so bad. It's not necessarily because the champion has no damage or no carry potential. It's because the damage is harder to apply consistently. The biggest lesson from these 100 games is that my first impression was wrong. At the start, I thought Ryze had no damage. Then I found out I was missing so much damage in some fight just by using the wrong combo. I thought he could not carry. Then, by the end, I had games where I genuinely felt like I 1v9'd the game. So, my final opinion is this. Ryze is not the kind of champion that gives you free wins. He's not forgiving, he's not simple, and he will punish your mistakes hard. But if you are willing to learn the details, there is a real 1v9 champion there. I started this challenge expecting Ryze to expose how bad the champion was. Instead, Ryze exposed how much I still had to learn.
This challenge was absolute cinema.